Welcome to Yoga Flow. Take your time coming to a standing form, taking a few breaths, settling in, noticing the soles of your feet, knees, hips, shoulders, and then taking a nice stretch up, sweeping your arms around, regrounding, and then again stretching up, reaching, maybe letting your head drop back, and then finding a hinge at your hip crease, grounding through your feet, placing your hands walking forward to plank, finding a few breaths here, hover knees, and then lowering down, stretching the toes, keeping the flex of the feet, grounding through upper body, hover knees, back to plank, up to downward dog, and then walking your hands back. And you're welcome to go faster or slower than what I'm offering. And so taking this time for you, connecting breath with body, reaching, and then taking a breath and exhale, finding a hinge. Releasing any tightness in your hip crease, grounding through each finger, upper back strong. And then again, hover knees, lowering down, stretching the feet, the spine, upper back, palms of hands. And then right back up, hover, hips come to plank, up to downward dog. Walking your hands back, heels do not have to touch, grounding. Nice deep breath, exhale, and coming back to a neutral, stretching, reaching, letting each moment be anew. And so instead of expecting what it should feel like, inviting what's present now. And so you might go faster or slower, you might pause at any point. It's really just time to take care of yourself. Hover knees, lowering down, stretching back. Notice how each moment you might notice something new about your body. And then shooting to plank, up to downward dog. And so you might have an intention for like what you want to work on today. Maybe it's releasing hip tightness or engaging core. Notice how what you focus your mind on, your body will follow. And so really taking each breath, each moment to invite what's here now, but also to invite your body to engage where you might want to engage more. And so finding some core stability when you hover, tightening your abs, lowering, stretching your feet, stretching your spine. And then on that hover, use your core. Shoot to plank, use it even more. Lift up, lengthen your hamstrings, walk your hands back. Find stability, find length. And then again, breathing around. And settling in, noticing your heart rate here. When you're ready, hands to shoulders, rotate from your rib cage. And so here, it doesn't matter how far you go, we're just seeing what's here right now. Hips and rib cage rotate and rotate. Seeing if your upper back is pinching together, inviting an expansive upper back. And then when you're ready, flowing through. So finding a hinge, walking forward, finding your plank, hover knees, lowering down this time. Let's sit back to child's pose. And then finding again, flexing toes, hover knees, plank. And then hover knees down, chaturanga, lowering all the way down, tops of your feet press to cobra. And then slowly lowering back down, flexing your toes, pushing back up. And so you're welcome to hover to the knees and back up, or you might come with a plank. And so finding a place that's not too much, but also maybe being surprised with doing more than you think you can. And so finding your hinge, walking forward, plank, lowering down, chaturanga, flipping your toes up to cobra or upward dog if that's in your practice. And then slowly coming back up. And again, you might go faster or slower. Grounding through your feet, using your breath, exhaling back up, reaching, stretching, arms sweep around, hinging, walking forward, finding your plank, lowering down, choice to drop your knees here, Coming on up, cobra, upper dog, lowering back down, and then reaching nice and long. And finding a sphinx, so forearms are pressing to the ground, tops of your feet press. Noticing what muscles might engage here, upper back, glutes. And then nice wide fingertips. I call this goddess. And then coming back to your child's pose when you're ready. See what it feels like if you flip your palms up. This is an area of tightness, often from texting, typing, maybe opening and closing your hands here. Noticing your forearms, the weight of your body, gravity, and just letting yourself settle into your space. Making your way back up to tabletop. And then when you're ready, finding a cat-cow, rounding your upper back, allowing your low body to sag. And so finding your foundation points of pressing through your hands, tops of your feet. And it doesn't matter how far you go, just saying what's here now. Going at the pace that works for you. And then easing back to child's pose. Hips towards heels, hands stretching forward. And allowing your breath to flow. Finding a place of stretching without straining. And then when you're ready, making your way back up to a tabletop. This time opposite arm, opposite leg. Noticing your foundation, your core, taking a reset and switching to your other side. And noticing here if your thumb's pointed up towards the ceiling or if your palm is down, what feels better on your neck, your shoulders, your upper back. Inviting your core to engage. Maybe even noticing hip stability of your supporting leg that's down. Noticing what muscles work with reaching. And so you might go faster or slower than I'm offering. Having kindness with yourself and going at the pace that works for you. Keeping your breath continuous, reaching, stretching, stabilizing. And then when you're ready, sitting your hips back to child's pose. Palms can be up or down, finding a place to settle in. And then when you're ready, easing back up to hover knees, plank, and up to downward dog. So it's almost like a little circle here. Hover, and lower down, and hips back. And again, taking your time, hover knees, shooting forward to plank, up to downward dog. And your heels don't have to touch. Back down to plank, hover, and then down all the way. And so you might have a little different flow than I'm offering. Relaxing your toes, hover the knees, engaging your core, shooting to plank, and then hover again and down. So just playing around with those incremental points of where you might feel your core engaging, hovering, planking, and up. And then back down to plank, hover, and lower down. And so finding the flow here that works for you. Hover knees, plank, downward dog, walking your hands back, this time grounding through your feet. Find that hip crease, and then get a nice standing stretch up. Hips forward, head back if available, sweeping around. And then taking a soft bend, hinging. And then take your time walking it forward, back to a plank. And then lowering down, hover knees. All the way, hips back. And hovering your knees. Shooting back to plank, up to downward dog. Easing with your heels, hands walk back. And so this should be pretty heart ratey here. That is great. Going at the pace that works for you. Sometimes the simple forms that look easy actually work your whole body inside out. So take your time, soft bend, hinge at your hip crease. Go ahead and walk your hands forward, upper back engaging here. Find your plank. Hover knees. Lowering down, stretch your feet, your hips, your spine, your back. Upper back engage, pull your body forward, hover knees. Good, use that core, shoot it to plank. Up to downward dog, walk it back. Grounding, hip crease release. All the way up. Deep breath, exhale, reach, hips forward, head back, open. Easing back down. Soft bend, hinge at your hip crease, ground your feet. Walk it forward, use your upper back muscles more than your shoulders or wrists. So take your time, hover your knees. Lower down, hips back to heels, upper back engage here, pull forward, hover, shoot to plank, up to downward dog. Walk it back, ground your feet, use your core, hip crease release, coming all the way up. And then back down, hinge at your hip crease, walk it forward. Nice planking, hover knees, lowering down, flip your toes, child's pose. Ease it down, breathing and exhaling. Flexing your toes, shoot it to plank. Back down to hover and chaturanga. Flipping your toes, stretching up. Cobra, lowering down, flexing, pushing back up. Easing back to downward dog, walking your hands back. Grounding through your lower body, and then all the way back up. Nice deep breath. Exhale, reach. Hinging at your hip crease. Lowering down, walking it forward. Lowering down, chaturanga, flipping your toes, stretching your spine. Easing back down, flexing toes right back up, downward dog. And then walking your feet close together, lifting one leg up, stretching long, bending your knee, opening your hip. Pressing solid through your upper body, and then taking a reset, lowering back down. And switching to your other leg, stretching long, opening your hip if that's available. Pressing through your upper body, nice and solid, lowering back down. And then bringing your feet a little wider apart, lengthening through your spine, upper back strong, heels do not have to touch. Ease to where your body allows, feet walking back together, one leg up again, bending your knee, opening your hip. And if available, finding a little hip socket circle and having kindness with your body, finding a place that's not too much. And then when you're ready, slowly switching, respecting that one side might be different than the other. So do not have to do both sides the exact same, just seeing what's here now for you. Finding some hip circles, one direction, when you're ready, the other. Hips back to neutral, lowering back down. Feet back apart, lengthening your spine, walking your hands back to your feet, grounding. Use your core to come up. Nice deep breath, reaching. Sweeping back around, rotating again at your rib cage. Noticing if this feels different than when we started. Maybe there's a connection with hips and rib cage. So noticing that rotation. And then again, stretching up, hips forward, arms open, hip crease release, soft bend, hinging. Walking your hands back forward to plank. And then hover knees, lowering down, flipping your toes, and child's pose. Sinking to your space, and then coming back up, core, flex your toes. Core, lengthen, hover, and chaturanga. Lowering down, flipping your toes, stretching your spine, lower body's an anchor. Allow your spine to stretch, using your lower body as an anchor. Coming back up, hover knees, downward dog. Hands walk back to your feet, grounding through your lower body. Coming on up, nice deep breath, exhale. Hinging at your hip crease. Letting your breath be fluid, walking forward, plank. Chaturanga, lowering down, flipping your toes, up cobra or upward dog. Lower body's an anchor. Flip your toes, stretching back up, downward dog. Heels ease, spine stretches, hands walk, grounding, using your core to come up, and thank your body for moving today. Take a few breaths, add a little more stretching if you need, and be kind to yourself.